UFC 304, the Manchester card is finally here. And today I'm going to be breaking down all the fights I wanted to be talking about. We're going to be breaking down some prelim fights and we're going to be breaking down the whole main card. So, first fight I want to talk about is Kalen Loughran. And he's got a new opponent in Jake Hadley. This is a really kind of like strange fight because obviously Kalen Loughran's meant to fight Tavares. I think Raymond Tavares was the guy's name, but he pulled out last minute. Now he's fighting Jake Hadley, which is actually a really weird scrap because Jake Hadley is a flyweight, and he's taking this fight on short notice. So you kind of have, well, it's not kind of, you have to respect that a lot. I do not think this is going to be a good night for Jake Hadley at all. Kalen Loughran, I've been watching him since Cage Wars. He first came onto my radar when he fought Luke Shanks on the Vicente Hughes card. He then beat Dylan Hazan to win the flyweight title. He lost his debut, which, you know, it happens. But Jake Hadley's he had a lot of hype from Cage Warriors as well. But he hasn't really been able to make that statement in the UFC yet. He's still very young though, that's the thing. But he's coming off 2 losses. You know, Cody Durden and Charles Johnson, I think it was. He hasn't got a win in over a year, and I don't think his confidence is going to be too high, especially taking on a short notice fight in a weight class that he's a flyweight, like, do you know what I mean? And he looks like a flyweight as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kayla Loughran on this one. I don't think Jake Hadley's that good on the feet. I think he's gonna try hold him down. But Kayla Loughran's a fucking big bantamweight, and Jake Hadley, like I said, he's a fucking flyweight. He's got decent grappling. Like, I'm not dissing him with the grappling, but I don't think he's gonna be able to use combinations to get Kalen Loughran down or even keep him guessing on the feet to where he's unexpected takedown. We know Hadley's going to go for the takedown and Loughran's going to know that as well. So I'm confident Kalen Loughran's going to be able to pull this one off. I don't really see Hadley being able to control him down for too long. I'd have questions about his gas tank as well, taking his fight on short notice. Yeah, I'll go with Kalen Loughran, probably a 30-27. Yeah, I'll go with Kalen Loughran on that one. Next fight. My biggest prospect, one of my biggest prospects in the UFC, Nathaniel Wood, is taking on Daniel Pineda. I wasn't really too familiar with this Pineda guy. He's there to lose. Let's be quite honest with you. This guy is not in there to give Nathaniel Wood a good fight. He's in there to lose. Nathaniel Wood's coming off that absolute robbery back on the Abu Dhabi card. And Pineda, like, he's got a lot of fights. He's got, I think he's 28-15 or something like that. He's coming off a no contest win against, a loss. This guy's had so many no contests too, but he's coming off a loss to Alex Caceres about a year ago. So losing to Caceres, you're clearly not one of the top fighters in the division. I think Nathaniel Wood is going to absolutely piece him up on the feet. He's one of the quickest featherweights in the world. He's got very, very, very sharp calf kicks. If you know about his calf kicks, you know they're fucking brutal. And he's so quick with it. His boxing's getting a lot better as well. He's coming off a controversial loss, but he had a good little win streak going there with Andre Fili, Charles Jourdain, and Charles Rosa. Obviously, Charles Rosa isn't the best, but Charles Jourdain was on the Paris card on relatively short notice. I think it was 4 weeks or something like that. Philly was the co-main event of the Aspinall card last year. He showed, you know, he hasn't looked the very best, but I do think he's kind of very unique to featherweight, where he's actually very small for featherweight. Like, this dude was a bantamweight. He didn't have the best success there. Obviously, the weight cuts were terrible. He got knocked out by John Dodson, and he lost to Casey Kenny, which Casey Kenny's not the worst loss. John Dodson obviously isn't the worst loss, former title challenger. But I think if you're going to compete with the top at the top, I don't think you should be losing to them. He seems to have a new home at featherweight, which is good, but I do think he's going to struggle with the top dogs. But in this regards, I think this is a good matchup for him. This is going to be good to get his confidence back, considering, you know, all the robbery that was that last fight. Not even the decision, but that guy was cheating. Fuck. The defense grabs and the fucking glove grabs and things like that. It was just terrible. So I'll go with Nathaniel Wood on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes him, but I'm going to go with a 30-26. I think he's going to get a 10-8 in there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he puts him away, even if the ref stops him because he's beating the fuck out of his leg. Something like that. Yeah. Next one. Now we get on to the main card. Obviously, Molly McCann is fighting, but I think Molly McCann's going to win, and if she doesn't, you know, she's not very good at all. Bruno Brazil, I think she's there to lose. She's 9-4 or something, 9-5. I think she's 9-4. But yeah, I think Molly McCann will get that one done. Probably she could knock her out, or she could get it done by decision. But that's a must win for Molly McCann as well. So kind of looking forward to that. We'll see what happens. On to the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of this card. The main card. Opening up the main card, one of my favourites. Arnold Allen is going to be taking on Giga Chikadze. Big matchup in featherweight. We recently have got Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling confirmed. You have Ortega, you have Yair, you have Ilya. All of them are kind of up in the air what they're going to do. Ilya is looking to fight Max next. Ortega, he could be moving up. Where is Yair Rodriguez? That's all I'm going to ask. But Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze, this is a fucking banging stylistic matchup. Giga Chikadze, back in the day, I remember when he was fighting Cater, he was like one of the best strikers. Like, people were literally saying, like, why the fuck isn't Giga fighting? I remember when Holloway pulled out, people were like, why the fuck isn't Giga fighting for the belt? Because he's fucking fighting Cater, and Cater didn't expose him, but he put a fucking beating on him. And Giga just has not looked the same since. He fought Alex Caceres in his last fight. That was on the Holloway Zombie card. Probably a year ago, he was meant to fight Josh Emmett, but then he got an injury. I think Arnold should take this one, but it's a fucking dangerous fight. I think Arnold Allen has one of the most underrated games in the sport. He is complete everywhere. As good of a striker as he is, I wouldn't be hanging on the feet too much with Giga. He's got fucking sharp kicks, the Giga kick. Arnold's got insanely good movement, though. That's one thing people don't give him credit for. His kind of style, bouncing around, switching stances. Not really switching stances, but just bouncing around movement. He's constantly moving. That's the thing. That's what makes him hard to hit, I think. Because he could swerve right, swerve left, and he's very quick. I do think Arnold kind of needs to wrestle in this fight a bit. I just don't think it's a safe bet to fucking strike Giga Chikadze if you're anyone. So if I'm Arnold, I'm taking this to the ground. And that's not a diss. It's not to say you can't win this on the feet, but why would you try when you can clearly beat him on the ground? So that's why he really impressed me with the grappling in the Movsar fight. He got up off every single takedown. And that was robbery as well. He should have won that fight, but yeah, I'm going with Arnold on this one. But Giga's in this one for sure. This is a big one because if Giga loses, he's clearly not one of the top fighters in the world anymore. I don't believe that. There probably was a stage where I could see him beating some of the... There was a stage where like Giga versus Yair would have been a great fight, or was the beat when he was around, things like that. But now I just think he's gone very slow. He's very old, and listen, the time off, like he's taken lots of time off, and he's only fought once. That could do the world of good. But Arnold's been active, which is a fucking shock because the dude never fights. But that's going to play into his favor. He's coming off the Max Holloway and Movsar fights. Max Holloway, there was one round in it. He, bit more there, a few things lined up, could have won that fight. Max was the rightful winner, of course, but Arnold did very well. Movsar fight, I thought he won. And he's beat people like Sadiq, Hooker. He looked very good in the first round, the Cater fight. He's kind of showing he's one of the top featherweights in the world. But if Giga Chikadze wins this, I would question what's up for Arnold. Like, do you know what I mean? I think this is kind of like a loser goes home. Not goes home, but loser isn't really in that top 5. Do you know what I mean? And I do believe Arnold Allen has all the skills to be a champion. I do think that. I think he's very complete. But he has to get through Giga Chikadze. And it's no easy test, but I think he's going to get this one done. I think he's going to get it done. He needs to be fucking smart. Once he's smart and he wrestles, when he wrestles, even if you chop at Giga's legs for the first round, don't get caught by anything stupid. He was getting caught by Movsar, which isn't a good fucking sign. But yeah, I would, if I was betting man, I'd bet on Arnold, but I wouldn't be putting my house on it. Do you know what I mean? It's a good fight. It's a good fight, but I'll go with Arnold 29-28 on that one. Manel Cape, one of the biggest fucking menaces in the sport, is going to be taking on Muhammad Mokaev. I think Cape's going to get this one done. I do not rate Muhammad Mokaev very highly. I think he's very one-dimensional, and when he shut that down, he's got no kind of threat to you at all. Manel Cape's, I think it was Felipe Santos his last fight. I could be wrong there, but it's always them unknown Brazilian fighters that take short notice, the ones you're going to have to worry about. But Cape looked decent. He looked very quick. I think Cape's going to be able to keep this one standing, and he's going to do enough damage on the feet to win this fight. I think Makayev, like, if he didn't finish Tim Elliott, I could have easily seen Tim Elliott winning that fight. He is decent at controlling. He's good at controlling people on the ground, but I do not think he's going to be able to control these top featherweight flyweights on the ground. Like, I think Royval would smoke him. I think Moreno would have easy work on the feet for Makayev. I just don't think Muhammad Makayev is that good. He's so young though. That's the thing. Like, he's got so much time in this division and in this sport where, 1 or 2 losses, it's just going to do him good. And I think he needs to work on his striking a lot, because I just don't think he has anything on the feet. No threat on the feet. He's literally just going to grab your legs and try and submit you. And he's done a good job of that so far. In moments, but he's had some fucking dangerous moments. He's got a knee bar. Tim Elliott was doing well in the fight as well. If he didn't submit him, Tim Elliott could have won that fight. Yeah, and I think if Tim Elliott's doing that to you, then that's fucking bad. So I go with Manel Cape on this one. I'm not saying Mahayev can't win. If he did take him down and hold him down, I could see a path to victory, of course. But I just think Cape's going to be able to keep it standing. Manel Cape fucking blew his opportunity to fight for the belt, missing weight against Mateus Nikolai, which was a fucking L. I had so much hope for Cape, but this is going to be one where it's like, this could lead to a Moreno or a Royval or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? Or a Kai versus Steve Erceg winner. This is definitely going to be, the winner's definitely going to be fighting for the top 3, and then going to be fighting for the belt. So I think they're only 30 minutes of cage time away from the belt. If you think about it like that, 2 15-minute fights, if you want to put it that way. But a go Cape on this one. Great fight though. Manel Cape's going to be going at fucking everyone in the press conference, like he did going to Kai and Izzy and stuff like that. Let's just hope he calms down on the post-fight press conference next time. Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby Green. I made a video on this one there last week. Sorry, I'll go Manel Cape 29-28 decision. That's what I'll go with. So, Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby Green. This is kind of like, I wouldn't say the people's main event, but this is the main event before the title fights for a lot of people. We're going to see what's up with Pimblett. I don't want to talk about this fight too much, because I've already made a video on it. I want to talk about Tom, but there is a path to victory for Paddy. And the kind of more I watch Bobby Green, he's very hittable, and he's got knocked out fucking so many times. Like Poirier, Dober, Turner, Jim Miller dropped him. I think Tony dropped him. I could be wrong there. But he's got a chin. And Pimblett hits hard, I'd say. Pimblett does hit hard. So I do not think Bobby Green has the power to knock him out. I do think Paddy Pimblett has a good chin. And I also think Pimblett could wrap him up in a submission. He's got very awkward jiu-jitsu, which a lot of people struggle with. Jordan Levitt got submitted. Vargas got submitted. Luigi Vendramini got knocked out. So it's not like Pimblett's trash. But then again, he didn't look great against Jared Gordon, of course. Looked better in the Tony Ferguson fight, but still lots and lots of improvements needed. But I'll go with Bobby Green 29-28 on this one. Like, I can see it going down to a third round. Pimblett taking one, maybe Bobby Green getting the opening, and then Bobby Green just landed the better shots. I just hope he doesn't go out there and school Pimblett, because if he goes out there and schools him, or even fucking beats him up and then finishes him, it's kind of like, right, you're literally just hype. And I really don't want that for Paddy. Like, I want Paddy to do well. So we'll see what happens in this fight. It's a good fight. Pimblett, there is a path to victory there for Pimblett. So yeah, I'm hopeful. So I'll go Bobby Green 29-28 on that one. My main event, Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. We're not exactly returning to the scene of the crime, but it's not far off it either. This is technically considered a rematch, simply because they had like 10 seconds of cage time together, but this is the real first time these guys have ever really fought. Obviously, Aspinall blew his knee out in the first round in their last fight, so there's not much you can really take from it. But I think Tom Aspinall's looking very sharp lately. I think he, obviously the Pavlovich win, he beat Tiberia as well last year, 2 first round KOs. He can't get much better than that. But I must say, this is a fucking dangerous fucking fight for Tom. I am picking Tom to win by KO, but man, this is fucking risky. Like, I see the bookies have this a 4-1 favourite. I wouldn't have it that high, man. This is a fucking hard fight. Curtis Blades, I was rewatching some of its fights. He's got good counters. And if you know Tom, you know Tom is hittable. His chin is in the air. And I must say, as good as I think Tom is, and I do think he's the best heavyweight on the planet at the moment, there is still some questions. We don't know how good his cardio is. We don't know how good he'll be in the championship rounds. Do you know, will he still have that same speed? We don't know how good his chin will look in those rounds. We don't know if he can get up from these takedowns. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we have to give him the credit that he hasn't allowed it to be shown. But I'm like, we'll see what happens. I do believe he's good enough. But, you know, if Curtis can get him down, I am very curious to see, is he going to be able to hold him? Is Tom going to be able to get up? Is Tom going to be able to submit him if he gets him down? Because, you know, Tom's got very good submissions. Obviously, a straight armbar against Volkov was insane. But yeah, this is a dangerous fucking fight. Curtis is kind of like, people are like, look at the Almeida fight, like, oh, Almeida fucking ragdolled him. Like, no, he fucking didn't. Almeida's shit. Not shit, but he's just, that fight just pissed me off because he had him up against the cage and just fucking did nothing with it. And the second Curtis hit him, he went down. The second. Almeida, yeah, he's coming off a win, so fuck Almeida in this fight, but I'm going with Tom, and I think Tom is going to be able to catch him because he's a bit too quick. Curtis is kind of like, the way he strikes is like very plotty and slow, but he can counter. I watched the Pavlovich fight, Curtis, and I saw some good counters. He's got power as well, and if he gets Tom down and starts landing some elbows, that's going to do some damage. So I wouldn't say this is a 50-50 fight, but I'd probably go with, I think Tom is going to win, and I'd be confident, but I'm also aware, like, fuck, like, this is a dangerous fight. Curtis Blades is not easy fight, and I think Tom will get this one done, and I'm really hoping so, because I think he needs a big performance, because it's just going to put more pressure on Jones in the UFC. If Tom goes out there and starches him like he did Pavlovich, which could happen, but it mightn't. I don't think he'll starch him that quickly. But if he does that, then fucking the pressure's on. The pressure is on. There's no denying this guy anymore. People be like, oh, what's Sirigan? Like, no, Tom is the best heavyweight on the planet. But this is a very risky fight to take. Like, what a fucking Chad. Absolute legend for taking this fight. Defending the interim belt. He said, fuck John Jones. I'm defending my belt. This is my belt. And that's exactly what you need to do. Don't be waiting around for no one. And of course, this is a rematch, like I said, technically. So, I'm all for this fight. It's dangerous for Tom, but I think it's also winnable for Tom. Curtis isn't a heavy boxer. He's more of a wrestler, but he does have power. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really curious to see these takedowns and how Tom's going to react. And, you know, I am curious. Arlovsky was shooting takedowns and all, but Curtis Blades is way better on the ground than Arlovsky. So, very, very curious with this fight. I hope we can see some of it. Do you know what I mean? I want to see Curtis Blades get him down and see how Tom reacts, and if Tom can stuff the takedowns, and, you know, if this gets into the third and fourth and fifth, how's Tom going to react? Like, there is questions, but I do think Tom's going to answer those questions with flying colours. I do think he is very good. So for this one, I'll go Tom by KO. I'll probably go round one KO. Fuck it. I'll go with Tom Aspinall by first round KO. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Again, I made a video on this. This is the main event. Leon is my favourite fighter in the UFC. Has been for years, way before he got the belt, so shut the fuck up. I think this is a good fight for Leon. Bilal Muhammad doesn't really have one pinpoint arsenal game where I think, right, this is going to give Leon problems. Colby and Usman had the wrestling, which was obvious, like, that's their path to victory. To take him down and hold him down. As much as Bilal has done that, he hasn't done it to anyone that has good wrestling. He wasn't able to hold down Gilbert Burns. He wasn't able to hold down Sean Brady. He was able to hold down fucking Wonderboy and Vicente Luque, but neither of them are known for their wrestling. They're both known for striking. Of course, Leon is known for his clean striking, but the dude is getting up off all the takedowns against Usman and Colby, and I do not believe that Bilal Muhammad has the same wrestling or the same control as Usman or Colby, for that matter. Do you know what I mean? And he definitely doesn't have the striking. His striking is fucking mid. I rewatched the Sean Brady fight. Yes, that is a year and a half ago. Bilal Muhammad has gotten way better, but he's very, very hittable, and I feel like you need one skill. I think you need heavy wrestling approach to beat Leon. And even then, still hasn't been enough. Or a really in-your-face striking, I'm going to take your fucking head off mentality. Which Bilal Muhammad doesn't have. Because he doesn't have the skills on the feet to really cause Leon problems. Or does he have the power? Shavkat has the power and that kind of stuff. So I think that's Leon's toughest test. But I just don't really see a path to victory for Bilal in this fight. Like, I suppose you could say taking him down and controlling him, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do that unless Leon has a fucking off night. Do you know what I mean? Which is possible, of course, but I just don't think so. Yeah, I just think Leon's going to be able to sap that body. That's going to sap Bilal's gas tank. He's going to be chewing at that leg. He's going to be landing the strikes. He's going to be open for the head kicks, I feel like he was in the first fight. And when Leon Edwards was landing on Bilal in the first one, he was so entertaining because he was aggressive. He was in his face. And he was working wonders on Bilal. Now, that was short notice. That fight, it's so long ago, I wouldn't even... Obviously, you can take pinpoints, but as much as he was piecing them up, Bilal's gotten so much better. But Leon's gotten fucking so good. So good since then as well. Bilal's not the only one who's improved. And his confidence is off the chain. He dismantled Usman in the third fight. He picked Colby apart, thank God. And now he's got Bilal. I wouldn't necessarily think... I wouldn't say it's an easy fight. There's no easy fights when you're defending the belt. But I think this is the best stylistic fight Leon can have. Because he doesn't have that threat like I was talking about. Like a sharp fucking counter striker. Or someone like that. Or a heavy wrestler. Someone in your face like Shavkat. Something, you know what I mean? Like someone that has like a pinpoint path to victory against Leon. Like Bilal's obviously is to take him down. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I genuinely don't. And I don't think he has the striking to stand there with Leon. Having said all this, I don't see him finishing Bilal. Because I just don't think Leon has the fucking finish ability to finish pretty much anyone in the top 5. He hasn't had a finish in who the fuck knows how long. Oh, it was Usman in the second fight. But apart from that, he's not really a finisher. Like, he's a decision fighter. And, you know, I have no problem saying that. Even though he is my favourite fighter in the UFC, he's a decision fighter. And it's worked very fucking well for him. It isn't the most entertaining style at all, but it works and it wins. So I'm going to go with Leon Edwards 49-46 on this one. That's what I think about this card. It's a fucking banger card and I'm proper pumped for it. Best card since UFC 300. But let me know about your predictions and what you think about my predictions below. Thanks for watching.